Hello, class. Good evening. This week's discussion prompts are pretty interesting. The first one is, what causes you to trust or distrust someone else? Using this answer, what would you do as a manager to cause your employees to trust you? Obviously, what causes me to trust or distrust somebody else is, the way they treat me and, treat others, when I see them, how they interact with others. Obviously, somebody who's loyal and, someone who always follows through with their word, more than likely I'm going to trust them to a certain degree. What causes me to distrust somebody is if they're slimy, you can just tell from a million miles away. Being in the sales field, you can tell a lot about a person based off of, the first few minutes of interaction you have with them. And, once that chain is broken, there's, really no going back, unfortunately. So you gotta really just properly vet them out. Now, when it comes to what I would do to cause my employees to trust me as a manager, number one, I would, set, brilliant examples, and let them follow through, and I'll give them advice. And so they would always see me as almost like a father figure, like a protectorate, someone that grows them. And so that's one way I would gain their trust. Second way I would gain their trust is just through basic camaraderie. I feel like I'm pretty good at needling my way into little groups within the big group, little subgroups within the big groups, little cliques, and finding out each and everyone's different personalities, their strengths and weaknesses, and really just kind of ironing those down. And then the second prompt is, an employee who works for you confronts you with a formal grievance concerning another employee being promoted over him. What initial actions will you take in order to address this grievance? Well, it would go something like this. I'd say, sir, I completely understand where you're coming from. Yeah, you work just as hard, if not harder, than the employee that we promoted. I'm sorry you feel this way, but we have a different position for you. That position that opened up, me as a leader, I saw the other person to be more fit. But for you, I see something else. And so that employee who confronts me, I would at first acknowledge, definitely acknowledge their grievance and say, yeah, you are justified to be upset. I'd be upset too. And then you empathize, and then you overcome it, just like an objection. You spin it around them. Like, well, why didn't you get the promotion then? If you have all these grievances, and I know I tear them down a little bit, tear down the ego a little bit, just to get them second guessing themselves, so they would never, think to ever, raise their fist against management again, question my authority. Silly, but that was this week's discussions.